What's up, anybody out there in internet land? Check. I'm gonna go ahead and transition this into the next thing. Let me go ahead and transition here. I'm popping on just to do a little experiment and just sort of talk about the direction that I'm going, that it's looking like I'm going, and play a little loop thing I've been working on today. Alright, so there we go. Check. You know, I'm going to keep the... Let's put this. We're going to go like that. Alright, so That'll work. Alright. All right. That was loud. All right, so I'm here in my studio, the Grove, and I've got the loop table, as you can see, set up here. And I've got a loop pre-recorded that I've been working on. And honestly, I don't know fully what I came on here for, so got a little delay in this mic. It's kind of weird. I'm going to talk through the main mic. I think maybe that's the way I should do it in general, is just talk through this mic. Maybe there's a way I can configure it where this one can go direct even when it's not going out to the PA. Something to figure out. Maybe I can figure that out after the stream. I'm going to play a little bit. I've worked on a little bit of a salsa thing today, so I'm going to play that here. I've got some of the loops already recorded. And the other day I was down at the market downtown, the city market, last weekend. And as I was setting up at the tents, there was a woman that was unloading, and she had a bunch of like salsa music that was playing out of her truck, and it just made me think, salsa music is good music, and it'd just be nice to have some salsa music, in the repertoire. So I started working on some of that today. I've got some classical, I've got, I don't know, every cover you can imagine. Not quite. There's Not quite like that, but I know a lot of different covers. Got a lot in the wheelhouse, but I don't have much salsa. I've got... As probably anybody that follows me knows. But I think tonight I wanted to come on to show... Yeah, here's a couple things. So, as you can see, the videos that you could see right now, what's on the screen is not... complete, but maybe it gives a certain idea. It's something. So in my recent live streams, I was using this 360 camera that's right here, and this live stream is obviously not 360, but it's using the 360 camera, so it gives that kind of that interesting view that you're getting on the left-hand side. And then I've got a couple of other cameras that are just kind of set up at weird angles, like this one here. And then there's one kind of over there that's looking out away from me. But the 360 video, I guess I wanted to mention about this. The 360 video is really cool for any of those of you that have seen that live stream. So what I've done, and I've set up a GL X3000 cellular router, and I'm using AT&T, a monthly data plan SIM card, to access cellular internet, essentially, and I can do that from the city market. And so that's allowing me to actually live stream the 360 video from the camera, which is pretty awesome, because then you, the viewer, you can just click on the screen and drag and look in whatever direction you want to look. The goal here, as I've said in a newsletter that I just sent out, which if you're not subscribed to the newsletter, go ahead and do that. I send out newsletters on a regular basis, and I try to keep them informative and useful. And so, as I said in this newsletter, the 360 video, it is awesome, but it's a little bit grainy. And it's a little bit grainy because in order to, this camera can submit data or send data that's up to 4K resolution. So in theory, it's great video, but the problem comes in transmitting that for a live stream through cellular data. You need pretty fast upload speeds to be able to transmit 4K 360 video. So you really need upload speeds of probably over 10 megabytes a second, and I'm getting maybe around 3. So it's just not sufficient, but I'm able to get video that, I would be curious about feedback. If anybody out there sees those 360 lives, be really interested in more feedback from more people about what the viewing experience is. The goal is to give you, the viewer, the sense of kind of being there in the audience. So what I'm trying to achieve is the ability for you to look around just like you would if you were actually there, and also experience the sound much like you would if you were actually there. And so the sound, when you're there at a live performance, you're going to experience a really high quality sound because I've got good equipment that I'm putting these sounds out through. So putting out through a nice PA, and spend a lot of time to cultivate these sounds to try to make sure that really nice tones and clean tones are going out. The beautiful thing about the live stream, and then the other thing that you get with live sound, if you're there in person, is you're going to hear all those ambient noises. You're going to hear the cars, you're going to hear the people talking, people walking, the horse carriages, everything out there, wind. You're going to feel all those sounds. You're going to hear all those sounds. So I also want to try to capture all of that and transmit that as well in a balanced way. And so that's the goal, and I think I'm accomplishing that more or less. And so I'm able to transmit a really nice audio sound and a decent 360 image. It's a little bit grainy, and maybe you don't get as much detail as you would really like. So the alternative here is doing what I've got right now, which is 1080p, or rather a standard wide frame. And in that way, it allows me to do some things that are different, where I can have like these multiple camera angles. And so the idea here is that one camera angle, maybe this 360, gives you this kind of vision of the table itself and me, and then maybe some of the other cameras give more of a view of the audience and some of the other stuff that's going on around. So I don't know, I'm still fleshing out the ideas of what you could do with multiple camera angles on screen that try to make it more interesting and make it more interactive. And with that, I guess I would say, as you probably saw at the beginning, we'll do this real quick. Farewell. Farewell. So you can see the standard wide allows for some more standard formats, whereas if you watch the 360 video, those same things that I just showed, a background image for NASA and that doorway that opens up into the view, into the new world that you're going to see, the digital world or the real world that you're getting to view from your digital workstation. That it the standard view allows for a standard formatting, so you can get that full vision of that door graphic, and you get the full version of the Nats graphic. Whereas in the 360, it spreads it in a full sphere, and so the view is you can only see parts of those images, that door. And you get like a real close up on the door, and you get a real close up on the Nat's image. But the advantage is then once you through those images, it's interesting in its own way. But I kind of prefer the wide view, the standard wide view, for those aspects of the stream. But then you do lose the ability to look around everywhere. And that's part of the beauty is trying to make it more interactive, which I think is really, really cool. And so some of the ways that I'm trying to make it more interactive, as you'll see right here. So I can bring up this Space Arc stats. Currently on the Space Arc stats, I've got tips, subs, and requests. And as you can see, if I hit a different key, you'll get a tip cue that starts, a sub cue, and different sounds that I've associated with that. And really pretty soon, we'll have buttons that are available here on the table for people to come press. If you throw a tip into the guitar case, I don't know if I got to figure out if I'm gonna have a sign or how I'm gonna indicate for people to do it. But you'd come press the green button. If you tip $5, come press the button 5 times, and then it'll track it on the scoreboard. And if you subscribe, I guess nobody will subscribe that fast. But I've got an iPad that's mounted here on the front that kind of pops out. Design a little piece of wood that props up, and glued like an old iPad to it, so people can submit join the newsletter right here, right from the table. I've also got, I don't know if you can see it right over here, there's a triangle that's mounted in the table, so people can come up and play the triangle. People can come up and grab, there's going to be a tambourine, some shakers, some claves. And have that all available for people to come up and grab and play. And then also I'm strategizing about things that I could implement from the online side, so anybody viewing online can also engage and interact with the people in the audience, in the live audience, in the in-person audience. And so one of the ideas I had is for anybody that's on the internet, you could buy a T-shirt or you could buy a mug. I've got them right here on the table, and you could say, "Hey, I want you to give this T-shirt to, that person," and you can pick out a person in the audience and say, "This person, that, if there's somebody that's standing over that's been watching, that's been really feeling it, and you'd love for them to have, some of the merch, you could buy the T-shirt and tell me to give it to them, and then I'll just go say, hey, Joe from the internet or whoever." Wanted to give you this shirt. They really were enjoying, you watching you dance or whatever. And that'd be kind of a fun way to create some crossover interaction from, the two audiences, and vice versa too. I was thinking with the in-person audience could also potentially give gifts to the online audience, and if I'm trying to think of ways that I could bring those two audiences together and make it more of a together experience. So there must be ways that, like, there's commands you can put where you could put in the chat on YouTube or wherever. You could put some commands in the chat, and it would trigger a sound effect or something that it can trigger. It could trigger a light that I have on, like an applause light. I could have an applause sign that's on a smart switch or a smart plug, and if you type applause in the chat, it'll light up the applause sign. You could do stuff like that. That's actually that idea just popped into my head right now. It's kind of a good idea. Maybe I should write that down. But stuff like that. But I would love to think of more ideas that are more interactive than just that, where you can establish more of that. There's more of a live camaraderie or connection between the two audiences. And so, I don't know, something I'm thinking about, something I'm working on. And I guess with that, I'll say you can see the Space Ark stats. There was the NOAA and the Space Ark, the NASA graphic at the beginning with the logo. As some of you may or may not know, NOAA and the Space Ark as a band is no more. One of our members has moved to Houston, or is about to move to Houston, is in that process. Another member has gone through a number of different non-life threatening surgeries that were just needed, and it's put him out of commission for an extended period of time. And it just made sense given those situations, or those, when you took everything to an account, it was the right thing to do. And I've sent out a previous newsletter about that. It was very, I don't know how to describe it. You can't put words to it. For anybody that has been in a band before, you get it. It's there's a sense of loss, and there were maybe even, I would say, days, maybe even a few weeks where I was just emotional about it, and I guess I'll leave it at that. But it's like what I wrote in the newsletter is, it's like a tree branch that's growing, and when the tree branch is growing, you have it's got all this potential. It grows in all these different directions. You don't necessarily know what directions it's going to grow, but it is growing, and it keeps spreading out, and you could feel that. You could feel all this potential. You see this development, and then when the band ends, it's like that tree branch just suddenly dies, and now you're just holding a dead branch, and it's all this potential, all this development that you saw, that it was going in these directions, and there are going to be flowers or whatnot, and they're just never going to come, and they're never going to happen, and so you have to be happy with what happened and make a peace with what happened, or be glad for what happened and accept what's not going to happen, and that's just it. And so, but with the Space Ark, at least at the time when we disbanded, I thought that was totally it. And in the time since, I decided to move forward with the name, and move forward with the idea, and some of the songs, and so that's what this is. This table is the Space Ark. So I'm Noah, and this table is the Space Ark, and it's a loop table, and that's the direction I'm going with this. Is I'm going to be working with this table. The goal is to work on it, well, most days of the week, but to be out live performing for people at least 3 days a week with this, hopefully in the same place, or the same general area, and just to put the work in and get really, really good at it. And I'll demonstrate a little bit of what's possible right now, and so we'll play you a little bit of some loops I've already recorded as I was working on Salsa earlier today. Salsa is such a cool sound, it's such a cool music. Had the opportunity, the blessing, the fortune of getting to see salsa being played in the streets of Puerto Rico and in Argentina, and it's amazing when you are really caught up in that salsa energy, and in general, just when there's lots of people caught up in that energy of the salsa. It's a feel good music, and it's unique. And let's see if I got anywhere in the vicinity. Let's see. All right. Me voy a suesta, prendo me mateo. Me voy hasta el minero feo. Say lay away, da da da. I wake up and fly away. Ay, na 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 na. That gives you a gist of what's possible here. There's so many sounds available. A little bit loud. Got to work on the volume levels of different things.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm gonna leave you guys with a song here. Playing tomorrow night at the City Market. I will be on East Bay. Shout out to Karen that runs the market. Gave me the opportunity. I got to pick between the Tents and East Bay, and Tents is pretty sweet. I gotta say Tents. I really like Tents, but East Bay. I picked East Bay. I picked East Bay because I like East Bay and it's more available. I think less people like East Bay, so it's just easier. It's easier to get East Bay, and that's a good thing because if you learn how to use the space, then then you get more opportunities to use the space. So East Bay is pretty cool. Tents is more fitting for this. It kind of really fits the setup. The setup looks really good in Tents. And anyway, so I'll be playing on East Bay tomorrow night in the City Market, and then I'm playing for the Songwriter Festival for Somerville on Saturday at like 4, I think. I need to double check on that. 4 to 5, I think, is what it is. Maybe it's 5 to 6. But there's a songwriter festival that's going on all weekend. I think even today in Somerville. A lot of good songwriters are up there sharing their work. So and it's a cool event. They kind of really utilize the Somerville space, and it's pretty cool. So go check that out. And I'll leave you with this song. I'm gonna play this song on Saturday. Probably play it tomorrow too. I could practice looping it. There we go. That's the. I'm gonna go back to California, rest my head. I'm gonna go back to California, spend some time with my friends. Gonna go back to California. that I could make the change I wish to see in the world, but I know I can only change myself. So I'm gonna take to the road again and love a special girl. Then I'll go back to California and I'll rest my head. Yes, we'll go back to California, spend some time with my friends. Yes, we'll go back to California, back to California, back to California. There we go. It's a little bit of an uncomfortable chord to hit. You wouldn't think it would be. It doesn't seem too bad, but then it just. I was watching a video the other day of some musicians talking about the best chords. I think this is one. It's like this. I think that's one of the best chords. Let's play one more. Hoping, praying, I've been waiting. Everybody needs somebody to love. There's no question, straight from heaven, you're my angel. I'm so crazy for you. You're a godsend, a blessing from above. You've been godsend to me. You're a godsend I've been dreaming of. Guitar's a little loud. You're a godsend. Ah, that's what it is. You're a godsend, a blessing from above. You've been godsend to me. You're a godsend I've been dreaming of. All right, y'all, that is it for me today. like I said, going to be at the City Market tomorrow. Songwriter Festival in Somerville on Saturday. Next week, I have Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I have private events, and on Saturday night, I've got Saturday afternoon. I got a private event, and Saturday night, I am at the City Market. So, and I'm thinking going forward, this is something I keep bouncing around in my head, but this Space Arc thing, I think I want to fully commit to it, and the only way to do that is to do that. And I think that I'm going to do that at the City Market, or at least I'm going to try to. And if not, if that doesn't work out, then I think I'm going to do it at a variety of markets or lower key gigging opportunities where it's more accessible and easy to set up and accessible in every regard of the word. And yeah, that's it. That's it to everybody out there in Interland. If you tuned in, thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to go to sleep. Goodbye.